Okay, this is the video. We're gonna be gaming together. The girls ain't gonna even go close to you when your room smell like that. You probably gonna smell like that too. Get those tips in, cause you probably gonna smell like that. Buy some cologne. Buy anything for your freaking room. Because
all these Cokes, these Dr. Peppers, I told you guys I would. I'm taking them down. I drank Starbucks did not look good. I wasn't gonna drink this anymore. I think I'm done buying Starbucks because it molds really quickly, which isn't good for like saving.
It's because you leave it out. I'm not going to be buying Starbucks because I always leave my cups out and leave it there for maybe about 2 dang years. And it sometimes when I leave there for 2 dang years, I have to leave it there for another year because it doesn't get moldy. But then I'll complain about it that it does get moldy, and then I'll just stop buying it. So then I have an excuse to stop buying it. Like what? Y'all know you're gonna go back there for coffee sometime, and then stay when you're out of damn Starbucks. You're gonna say, what you gonna say is, oh, look at that. I'm not drinking. Definitely not drinking. No. Shoot. Oh my god, he's kind of loud though. That's the thing, he's kind of loud. Low-key, I'm gonna get real scared doing this. But I have to. Y'all, who wants to watch a scary video? I forgot what the word was for a second. Oh hell no, I don't want to watch an ad called Five Nights at Freddy's. Nuh-uh-uh. Nuh-uh-uh. Sorry dude, no. Hell the fudge, no. I'm gonna die actually, I feel like it. I feel like this is the only one that we did, which is the
expertise to stay ahead. Sophos gives you cutting-edge AI that evolves with every threat, and experts hunters.
3, 2, 1. Scary music is coming on, and I'm about to die.
So I was literally.
And I'm about to die.
My parents were.
That's how bad it is.
Countryside.
That's how bad that I get scared easily because of this
for
stuff.
as long as I can remember.
Even though I still watch it.
Eggs from the chicken coop, carrying hay bales, that sort of thing. We country folk valued the virtue of hard work like that. My parents were the old-fashioned sort, especially my father. He was the kind of man who couldn't tell the difference between corporal punishment and straight-up child abuse over honest mistakes. I wasn't a particularly naughty child, but I was a bit clumsy. One time, I accidentally spilled a bucket of milk during chores, and my father whipped me with a leather belt so hard that I passed out, while my mother only watched sadly from the corner. Eventually, I got tired of the country life with my uncaring family and moved out of the farm to find a new life for myself in the big city. My parents didn't approve, of course, but it wasn't like they could stop me.
Well, I'm not trying to get canceled, so let me just say, I might have to delete this one because...
All I left behind for my parents was a note telling them that I was going to make a new life for myself far away from them. I didn't exactly have the best relationship with them. I wouldn't return to the farm again until 15 years later, when I got a knock at the door of my cramped studio apartment. I opened the door thinking that it was odd, since I didn't get many visitors due to always being too busy with my work and a soul-sucking corporate job to make any friends. A middle-aged man in a suit stood at my door, holding a brown leather briefcase in one hand.
Big backs.
My first thought was that he was a door-to-door salesman
No, I'm
trying to sell
sorry.
me
He's
something,
not.
and immediately felt annoyed. I was still mentally recovering
Yo,
from a whole week of mind
I ain't
work,
buying.
and this was supposed to be my day off.
What
I could
you
do
selling?
whatever
I
wanted
ain't
without
buying.
My manager breathing down my
Well,
neck. Look,
My
buddy,
husband
whatever
is
you're
Walter
selling, I'm not
White.
interested,
Yo.
I said,
Boom.
in an irritable tone. I tried to close the door right afterwards.
I
but
forgot. I
from the door
totally
jam,
forgot what
the
I
man
forgot.
placed a boot-clad foot
Whatever you
between the door
selling,
and door
I
frame.
ain't
I'm
buying.
not a salesman, kid, the man said.
Oh,
His
what the
voice
hell?
calm, but
And
clearly
Liana.
exhausted. I'm a private
What the
investigator.
heck?
I need to talk to you about something.
Nito,
Curious,
I'm
I
okay.
eased the door back open, but kept my hand on the handle. Why would anyone hire a private investigator to find me?
I don't know.
The man's
Maybe because you're
expression
wanted
turned
in a
grim.
couple
It's
states.
about your parents,
Your
he
dad.
said in a somber voice.
Your mom.
What he said next made me feel like my soul left my body. He explained that my father had died over 3 years ago.
Oh.
My mother, apparently driven mad from grief, was recently admitted to a mental hospital
Oh.
against her will for her
Oh.
and everyone else's safety.
Oh.
With my father dead and my mother deemed
Oh.
mentally unwell, my
Oh.
mother's lawyer hired a private
Oh.
investigator to find me
Oh.
so that the ownership of the farm could be transferred to me. The next couple of days went by in a blur. After confirming who I was, the private
Guys, this
investigator
is the
brought my mother's
best
lawyer to me
hiding
so that I could sign the
place.
documents transferring
They ain't
ownership
gonna
of the
see
old
me,
farm to
but I'm gonna see them
I
and I'm
signed
gonna
wherever he
shoot.
told me to sign, and the two offered me
'Cause
shallow
I need to.
condolences before disappearing from my life forever. It took me another week to gather the
You just
courage
went
to
by.
go back to that old farm. At the end of it, I called my boss to let him know that I'd be gone for a week. I got into the same
Yada,
busted up
yada,
car and
yada.
left the farm in to go back to it
Nobody
for the
fuck-
first time in over a
Nobody's
decade.
going down here, dude.
To say that that place was in bad shape when I got there would be an
Sheesh.
understatement. Despite all the bad memories I
I
had of
guess I
that
like
place
forgetting
thanks to
it.
my father, it was still my
Yada,
childhood home.
yada, yada.
It pained me to see it in such a sorry state. Weeds grew over the crop
Oh,
fields that had once been so carefully
that phone?
tended to. The
Sorry.
few remaining pigs in the farm were so
you think
scrawny
we
and
care?
malnourished. It was a miracle they were still
I
alive.
know you see me,
Their
big
feed
back.
bins were completely empty and collecting dust. It didn't look like anyone's touched them in a long time. I wondered for a moment how they were able to survive without anyone feeding them. Then, I noticed a small group of younger pigs gathered in a corner, loudly eating something buried under all their hungry snouts. I strained my eyes to see what it was, and felt sick to my
Dad.
stomach when I recognized it. They were gathered around the corpse of an old pig, and were eagerly tearing away at its flesh and bone to
Ooh,
eat.
okay.
Without anyone to feed them, the pigs had resorted to cannibalizing each other to survive.
Okay,
They
I
immediately
don't
left the
think
barn in
that's
disgust
so
and checked on
good.
the cows instead. They were still grazing the field as usual, but there was one dead cow that had been left to rot, with flies swarming all around them. I couldn't even tell if it had died from old age or was killed by a predator with how desiccated its body had become. After taking a moment to process
Guys,
just how
damn, I
messed
feel
up
like
the farm
there's
had
a fly in my
become,
room.
I went to the farmhouse to clear my head, only to find it just as neglected as the rest of the property. Everything was covered in a layer of dust, and cobwebs adorned every dark corner. There was even a tower of dirty
Yada,
dishes in the
yada,
sink,
yada.
left to stagnate in fetid gray water. According to the lawyer, my mother had been living on the farm up until her admission to the mental hospital just about a month ago. Yet, it looked
Hey,
like the
I
place
see
had been
you.
abandoned for years.
I
I
see
firmly
on
assumed that she started
you.
neglecting it after my father's death. My parents' bedroom was a mess, with clothes strewn
Big
about
bag.
on the floor, or haphazardly stuffed into the drawers with no rhyme or reason. Oddly enough, the only place in the entire property that had been well kept was my old bedroom. The place was spotless, save for a few dusty corners. Everything was just as I'd left it. From the metal music poster I hung on the walls as an edgy teenager, to the bookshelf filled with heavy adventure books that I couldn't bring with me. Even the goodbye letter I left on my desk before leaving the farm was still there, though I could see several dried up liquid stains that weren't on it before. I tried hard to convince myself that they weren't my mother's tear stains. Sitting on my perfectly made childhood bed, I realized with a heavy heart that out of all the things in the farm that needed tending to, my mother only ever took care of my room. Deep down, my mother must have really cared for me, even if she was never able to stop my father from beating me as a child. I decided then and there that I would fix the farm up, so that it would be in better shape for her to return whenever the doctors deemed her fit for release. I spent the next day cleaning the farmhouse and feeding the pigs in the barn, their first proper feeding for the first time in years. I even cleaned up the cow carcass in the field by burning it on a large pyre. Usually a dead cow would be composted, but I couldn't tell whether it had died from a disease or not, and didn't want to risk creating tainted compost. I sat on a folding chair and watched as the raging fire consumed the carcass with a fire extinguisher on my side and a hunting rifle slung over my back.
Oh shit.
If the cow had been killed by a wild
Did she
predator,
see me?
I wanted to be ready to defend the farm if it returned
I mean,
to kill
shoot,
another cow.
did she see me?
I must have watched the fire for about an hour before
You
I
got me
caught
now.
sight of something in the corner of my eye.
Why
The
did
sun
you
had gone down by
know?
then, and I was only able to see by the light of the burning pyre.
Oh my
Through the
god.
flickering light
He
of the
has
fire,
2 kills
I could
and
only tell
deaths.
that whatever it
1.
was,
But I
was
should have
approaching
won.
from a distance,
I
enshrouded
should
by
have
the
won.
darkness of
Okay.
night. I couldn't make out what
I
it
should have
was,
won.
but the hazy, shaggy
That's not fair. Okay.
outline made me think that it was some sort of animal.
Bye bye.
Thinking it was
Actually, wait.
I brought up my
Here.
hunting rifle and
I'm
shot
just
it.
gonna.
I didn't expect to actually hit it in the darkness. I
Oh
just
my
wanted
God.
to scare it off with the sound of gunfire. But right after I pulled the trigger, I heard the sound of whatever it was yelp in pain, right before collapsing to the ground. But the sound
Shit.
it made wasn't that of an animal.
Sorry, no.
My eyes
not
widened
that.
in horror when I recognized it as a human cry.
Frick
When I
you
reached
guys.
The horrible truth became clear to me. Lying on the ground with a bullet in her chest
Mother.
was the corpse of an old woman. Her hair was overgrown and shaggy, so much so that I'd mistaken it for the fur of an animal in the dark. The only thing she wore were a light green tunic and matching baggy trousers, the kind you probably see a patient wear at a hospital. After a whole minute of gawking, horrified by what I'd accidentally done, I snapped back to my senses and tried to think of what to do. I should have called the police. It was a genuine accident after all, and the person was technically trespassing on my property. But in my panic and cowardice, the only thing I could think of at that moment was finding a way to get rid of the body. I picked up the woman's body and tossed it into the pyre alongside the cow carcass. For what felt like forever, I watched as both of their bodies were consumed by the
that's
flames with sweaty
disgusting.
hands.
Ah.
Though my body felt frozen
Shoot,
in
you
fear.
scared me.
In the end, all that was left were brittle bones that I easily
Uh-oh.
crushed into dust. I slept fitfully that night, scared that someone would come looking for whoever that woman was the next day. My fears came true when I heard a knock on the door the next day as I was eating breakfast. I saw the police car parked outside through the window and thought that things could possibly get any worse. I was wrong. I answered the door and was met with a young police officer. "Good morning, officer," I said in the most normal voice I could muster. "Is something wrong?" "It's about your mother," the officer said. "What about her?" I said in surprise. "She escaped the mental hospital last night. One of the nurses told her that you'd returned to the family farm, and we were wondering if she broke out to visit you here or not." He opened a picture on his phone gallery and showed it to me. "I've been told that you haven't seen her in a while, so you might not recognize her. But this is what she should look like now. Have you seen her?" I looked at the picture and felt my heart nearly stop. Sitting on a hospital bed in the picture was the same woman I'd shot the previous night. That woman I'd accidentally killed and intentionally burned in a pyre alongside a common farm animal was none other than my very own mother. Fighting back the urge to vomit, I told the officer that I hadn't seen her. I couldn't hide all the horror in my voice though. Thinking that I was merely worried about my mother's safety, he assured me that they'd find her soon. There weren't a lot of places to hide in the countryside after all.
Why would you
I
do that?
thanked
You
him,
killed your
though I
mother.
knew nobody would ever find her. I left the farm shortly
That was
afterwards to
actually
go back to the
good.
city.
The freaking
Though I've tried to return to my normal life,
big
my
back.
mind kept reminding me of what I'd done, with nightmares of my mother crying, still bleeding from the bullet hole I put in her chest. That was over a decade ago. I'm gonna return to the farm one
Guys,
last
just
time.
know I'm
I
not
can
good
no
at
longer
these
live with this
games.
guilt, so I've decided that I won't live
I'm
at all.
not good at these
I'm
games.
bringing my hunting rifle there too, but this time,
Oh.
only one who will be shot by me.
I was trying to cover that part out because I didn't want to get demonetized.
Hey guys, I
Fudge.
see many of you commenting
Fudge.
on my videos that this
Fudge.
channel deserves
Fudge.
1 million
Trudge.
subscribers. But I also see the percent of people who watch my videos aren't
Oh,
actually subscribed to the channel.
you.
So, if you like the
Big
content,
back.
want to support my channel, and want to see this channel reach 1 million subscribers, or maybe 500,000 subscribers, then go ahead, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. It's free, and you can always change your mind later.
I can't get past this stage. I've upgraded my weapon, enhanced all my gears, and summoned my companion during challenges, but I still failed.
Oh, even with auto battle active, you can still make it better with your touch. The secret is to move and jump a little so you can hit more enemies.
That sounds challenging. Let me try.
Just so these people have really good skills at this, except for me because I don't.
Brings together what matters most. Your watch list for movies and shows, games from your favorite teams, and your saved watch plus channels.
Shig!
It gives you quick access to
Rig,
exclusive
big
deals and offers.
dig.
Lets you relive
Freaking
your
kill
favorite
this.
moments,
I'm
catch
gonna
up
die
on
and I know that.
and learn how to get even
Ugh!
more physio experience.
Damn!
Maya, everything all in one place.
Ow!
I used to love going to amusement parks as a kid. My favorite one was called Wonderwood Park. It had an Alice in Wonderland theme that was just different enough from the House of Mouse's version to not get sued. Since it was close to where I lived, every summer I'd go there with my parents as an
Good!
annual
And I'm
tradition.
better!
Those days gave me some of the happiest memories of my life. They couldn't last though. My
Yeah.
father got a job far away from our old town.
Maybe because
and
your
we all had to
dog,
move
dad
with him.
left you.
It became impractical
I didn't say
to
dog
travel
for
to
some
Wonderwood
reason.
Park every year. So
That would
we
be sad if
eventually
your dog
just
left
stopped
you.
going. I was just about to graduate high
could have
school
been a
when
father
my mother
figure.
told me that she heard the park
That's what
closed
O'Neal
down
said.
due to
There's this
hospital
really guy,
reasons.
there's this
I
really,
remember
really funny
feeling
guy.
sad when I heard the news.
Guy or girl,
but
I
was
don't
too busy
know.
with things like
But
finals and college applications to be too down about
I
it.
feel like it's a
It
he,
was
so I'll
only
call him
after I
he.
graduated
But
college
he's
and
like
moved out of my
O'Neal. It's
parents'
O'Neal
house
Thomas.
that I decided to
But
return
oh
to
my
my
god,
old
he
town
is so
once
funny.
more to
He's
revisit
literally so
Wonderwood
funny.
Park. I
Literally
pulled over to the
funny.
nearest
Ah.
hotel and rented a
Funny
room
and
there
freak.
before proceeding to where
Funny
Wonderwood Park once
a-
was on foot, wearing a medical mask to cover my face. I doubted anyone actually cared
Oh,
whether people went
because
to those
I was
ruins or
in their
not,
base.
but I was still technically trespassing. It was better if nobody saw me there,
Big
than
back.
for them to
Goodbye.
not see my face
Goodbye.
if they did. Late that afternoon, I hopped over the fence, past the locked gates, and into Wonderwood Park for the first time since I was 12. As expected, a lot has changed since my last time there, but I was still able to recognize it as the place that made my childhood. The rides I had once waited in humongous lines to get on lay rusty and
Oh, he
dilapidated
just like shot him
from
in
years of
the air.
neglect.
That's cool.
The food stands had
Look there.
completely collapsed, ravaged by the elements and scavenging animals that ate whatever was left behind. Even the towering Ferris wheel that had once been the highlight of my every trip stood deteriorated, with the wheel looking like it could fall off the rickety hinges at any moment.
Oh,
It
it
was a
could
shame to see
probably.
the source of so many fond memories in such a state, but I couldn't help but feel just a little happy that I was able to return to see it one last time. I took out my phone to take some pictures as a keepsake. I walked around the theme park taking pictures of all the attractions I used to love as a kid. The slingshot
But now
ride that
that
was made
we're
to look like a heart-shaped
gone.
guillotine. The water ride based on the time that Alice cried enough tears to cause a flood. And even a winding hedge maze decorated with the now
Oh.
long-dead roses that was supposed to resemble the Queen of Hearts garden. I got a little lost in the last one. I must have passed the same crumbling statue of the Queen of Hearts at least 3 times. Even when covered in bird shit, she still manages to look like a pompous prick. By the time I managed to find my way out of the maze, night was already beginning to fall.
Stuff.
I got ready to leave the place before it got too dangerous to walk outside alone.
Yep.
But as soon as I took a step
got
beyond
me
the
now.
maze entrance, I heard something that
Oh,
stopped
I'm
me
gonna
in my
die.
tracks.
Oh, I knew it.
Hissed a soft voice
Oh,
somewhere behind
not
me.
fair.
It sounded like the voice of a child. Startled, I spun around to see what it was. Standing with her face
They all
half
come
hidden behind a hedge
from like
wall
down there.
was a pale little blonde girl in a tattered-looking blue dress. She stared at me with a pleading eye, but didn't utter a word as I stood there dumbfounded by her presence. Hey, I said, once I got over the initial surprise. What are you doing here? The little girl didn't reply. She just continued to stare at me with that glassy blue eye that seemed to see through my soul. I was a little creeped out, to be honest, but I wasn't about to abandon her there in the ruins. Hey, sweetie, are you lost? I asked. Do you know where your parents are? She didn't reply. She just turned
I'm
away
sorry,
and
guys.
ran
I'm so
off behind
quiet.
the
I've been
hedge wall.
so quiet.
Wait! I called
I'm
out
just like
after her.
listening to the dang
It took me a
story in
long
the
time
back.
to figure out the hedge maze myself. I didn't want her to get lost in it as well, so I ran after her.
I'm gonna end this.
I turned the corner just in time to see the blue hem of her dress disappear behind the left hedge wall.
Make sure
corner.
to like and subscribe.
I ran after her.
Make sure
my
to like and
footsteps
subscribe. I'm gonna
echoing
kill
throughout the
you.
otherwise silent ruins like banging drums. Each time I turned a corner to find her, I'd only catch a glimpse of her trailing dress, telling me which direction she went in the maze. It was almost as if she was doing it on purpose. Finally, I followed her to the wide open center of the maze, where there were no corners for her to hide behind. She stood stock still in front of the Queen of Hearts
Oh,
statue,
she
with
creepy.
her back to me. It was the same
Oh,
Queen of Hearts statue I'd accidentally
She
passed several
actually
times
is
trying to
creepy.
get out.
Heart.
You're not gonna run away again, are you? I said between heavy
She probably
breaths.
is.
No, the little girl didn't seem tired at all. Please just stay there. I'll call the police.
No.
You're safe, okay?
Don't call the
I promise.
police, God.
The little girl
I
shook
don't
her
think
head.
she wants to.
Her
Cause
face still turned away from me.
I'm gonna put my damn
It's
door
too
because
late for that, said the little girl.
I
In the
cannot.
most sorrowful voice I'd ever heard. Before I could ask what she meant, the girl
I'm gonna run out my damn room.
He didn't have a phone charger in his car, so he was like, great, I can't even call a tow truck. But then he looked up and saw the bathroom was open. He decided to just go in there.
Oh, the damn door open.
I would have screamed had the shock of it all not caused my body to freeze in fear.
I'm what you
Without
said.
another word, the little girl turned her back to me again and sunk into the dirt.
Oh, there it is. I was gonna break it because I'm freaking. I'm literally about to die.
Sticking out of the dirt was what looked like a human finger bone, small enough to belong to a child. I immediately called the police. Naturally, they asked me what I was doing in the ruined amusement park in the first place, and detained me for a few days while they investigated the girl's body buried under the Queen of
Sorry about
Hearts
that.
statue. Thankfully, I was able to get off on minor trespassing charges after it became clear she'd been rotting there for at least 5 years.
Oh,
I don't know if the police will ever find out who put her
oh.
there. I don't think even she knew herself. I just hope her spirit can finally find peace now, after being trapped in that park for so long.
She's scary. She literally scares me.
I
I'm about to
traveled
burst
find
into
myself
tears.
after college. It's a tale as old as time.
There was a dead
College
dog.
graduates with a degree that he has
And-
no idea
and-
what to actually do with it, and wanders the
and
country
then-
by himself in an old car he bought on eBay.
And now it's reminding me of the Lucy Shimmer story. About the Lucy Shimmers. She died. She was trying to help a guy get better and see his family, but he thought that his family didn't forgive him, and
Pie baking contests, annual dance festivals,
and then
weird
what
delicacies anyone
he
else
was
in America
thinking,
would consider
and she made him
disgusting.
read the
That
Bible
sort of
every
thing.
night to him.
Though they were all from the same
And
country, it was interesting to see how different they all were from one another. I enjoyed my time stopping by them, even if I had to do odd jobs every now and then when my
Lucy
savings
Shimmers
was cutting.
died.
One day on my
She was helping all the patients, and her dad was bringing him to the patients. But what happened was she died before she could say goodbye. You guys should watch it. Don't watch it. You're gonna cry.
I parked right beside the sign and had to squint to read what it said through the brown rust
Lucy
that had gathered
Shimmers.
on it. It read, Rory,
They have a
100
good
miles,
spirit.
accompanied by an arrow curving left. I assumed that Rory must be a small town, and I started to look forward to learning some new local customs. I continued to drive down the long road, keeping an eye out for a left turn.
Wait,
Eventually, I came across a small
not
dirt
there,
path branching off the main concrete
why?
road to a dense forest.
Lucy Shimmers,
Vegetation
why?
had grown over the path, but I could tell that
Why,
just below
Lucy
the
Shimmers?
foliage
Why would you
was
have
a
to
smooth
die?
paved surface that might have once been used by people. I probably would have missed it entirely had I not been looking for it. The town must have been happy
Wait, there's
in its
somebody-
isolation to leave the path that it's so hard to find. I turned the car
Wait,
onto
then
the
who is
overgrown
that?
path and into the forest.